Hello again. So, following my last video, it became clear to me that I actually still have more to say on the matter. And it took me a while to think about what to title this video and what to make it about, but I think there really is only one logical follow up from the last one, which is we have to talk about who killed Charlie Kirk. Now, of course, we know the concrete facts as they lie. Tyler Robinson was the person who held the weapon and pulled the trigger. But a deeper question has to be asked when it comes to Tyler Robinson and what drove him to do this to begin with. Tyler Robinson was a fairly normal person by all standards, who grew up in a stable household, and yet something, clearly, perhaps contingent upon underlying mental health factors as well, drove him to feel like it would be perfectly legitimate to pick up a weapon, aim it at somebody that he didn't agree with, and brutally and coldly take their life. And of course, immediately following this, we saw others on the left rush to online social media to glorify this act and to celebrate it, to misquote the very person who had just been murdered, attributing things to him that he'd either never said or twisting them in a way that he would never have meant them, to somehow legitimize the fact that he had in fact been murdered. But more shocking than this is that we saw people in the media and we even saw people on the political aisle on the left espouse similar sentiments, perhaps less directly, but espouse them nonetheless. And so we have to ask what led us here and who else is responsible. Because it can't just be this one man. Someone, something radicalized him. And if we can't point to and point out what radicalized him, we're not going to get to the bottom of this, and we're not actually going to get to a place where we can heal the divide. Because it can't just be, well, it's over now, that was horrible, let's all join hands in solidarity. There have to be consequences, and of course, these consequences have to be weighed upon who we attribute guilt to and how we see fit to deal with them. Now, the reason I bring this up is because it can't have escaped anyone's notice that politics in America has been divided for quite some time. And when seeking to find who I feel personally is guilty for this, I think back to 2016 and everything that followed from that chaotic and somewhat fiery year. Trump became the president on the back of a contentious political campaign where his opponent, Hillary Clinton, saw fit not to attack him as a candidate and as an opponent, but rather to attack his voter base. She called half the population a basket of deplorables, and upon him being sworn in as president, saw fit further to push a dangerous Russian collusion conspiracy theory, effectively undermining and delegitimizing his presidency. As for the media, I'm afraid they don't escape guilt either. The media sought to call and brand him as a Nazi leader, comparing him to Hitler, whilst at the same time calling his followers, again half the country, fascists for supporting him. This created a dangerous environment where somebody simply for wearing a MAGA hat was liable to be assaulted whilst walking the streets of their country. Now, I say this as an outsider and somebody who's never been to America, and of course I understand that, but still, the facts are the facts. This is the environment that was created under that kind of narrative that was not only co-signed by the Democrats and the media, but it's the whole platform on which they ran for 4 long years. I think it's clear that Tyler Robinson is not the only guilty party here, and that even though he may have been the one who pulled the trigger, he's not the sole party responsible for creating the environment where people celebrate with glee the death of another person and where somebody may have felt emboldened to take their life to begin with. That's all.